Hi gang, Rob here. It's the evening of 21 December 2015. Yeah, 4 days before Christmas Eve. Aren't we getting excited? We should be. Hey, I just wanted to do a short video for you guys today to help out some of you Edgepro owners who have been plagued by the #1 annoyance in the world of Edgepro Apex sharpeners. Yeah, these guys right here. These are the factory stock suction cups that fix the base to whatever surface you're working on. They go back here in the back of the Apex model sharpener. And you may have noticed, if you've owned an Edgepro for a while and you've perused Edgepro's website, they actually sell or have sold a round piece of glass with a soft foam rubber rim around it that you can set on your counter if it's a bit of an irregular counter, and that piece of glass will give you a good suction and that rubber rim will keep it in place. That thing exists for a reason, because on most surfaces, and my countertop, this piece of Formica that you see here, it's not perfectly smooth. It's got a little bit of texturing in it. But I have used my Apex on dead smooth Formica and still have the same problem. And what is the problem? Well, the suction cups don't stay put for very long. A combination of the fact that they suck or don't suck, they're not very good, and the fact that you've usually got some water and slurry going on around the back base of your Apex tool. For one thing, you've got water and slurry on your stone, on your knife that you're working on, and then from time to time you'll have to douse your slider rod in a little soapy water to make it slide freely. Well, all that stuff runs down, gets all over your surface, and will help to break loose the firm grip these have on your counter. And a couple things will happen. It'll just pop loose and go backwards, or sometimes you'll be sawing away on a knife and you'll find it just sort of gently starting to walk over, and you're kind of chasing it around as it goes. I sharpen 30 knives or so per week, and I found that 10 or 20 times a day I'm cussing my Edgepro because it won't stay put. Well, the best thing I can tell you is get rid of these. And I thought about doing this for about a year before I finally did it. And let me show you what we've got here. Grab a pair of pliers. These actually thread into the back of your Edgepro Apex. So the shiny part of this screw up here is an number 832 machine screw thread, and it threads into the plastic body of your Edgepro. And then this that looks like a wood screw at the bottom is what your suction cup screws onto. The cups are replaceable, but new ones aren't much better than old ones I've found. So let me show you what I've got going here. If you'll notice, I think we can come in a little closer, yeah, and you can see what I've got going on here. I've got a nut and a fender washer going through my Formica, and now I'm gonna show you what's going on underneath the table. Okay, so here's the underside of my countertop, and you can see I've got 2 more fender washers, the 832 threaded rod, and wing nuts. So I'll show you, I'm going to take this loose from the table now and show you how I installed it. Okay, I'm just going to reach under and spin off my wing nuts. And you may be thinking, wow, why did you leave all that screw? Why'd you leave all that extra threaded rod? Yeah, I thought that too. I should probably get out the hacksaw. And shorten those by an inch or so, just to make it quicker. Okay. Now I used a 7/64 drill bit, which is a little oversized. And that's important because you're going to kind of need to play with the angle of these holes. In fact, I actually egged them a little bit, going backward just to let my apex sit at the right angle, so that, and you can adjust this height. I've got 2 more nuts here, and I use that to adjust my height. But you're still going to need some play in the angle of attack that this threaded rod takes as it goes through your countertop. And that's so that it'll sit on the feet in front firmly when you get it all anchored down. So to bring you in close, here's where the original feet screws go into the body of the unit. And it'll take a pair of pliers, just grab a hold of that wood screw end and carefully unthread them. You don't want to wallow out the plastic too badly. And then these are 8/32 by 3-inch sections of threaded rod, and just a hex nut for each side. 4 fender washers that are going to look like this. So enough surface area to take care of your countertop above and below. 4 of those, and then 2 wing nuts. And I'm going to put this back on and show you guys how solid it is, because it's a lot more solid than factory. Okay, we're all tight again, and I don't know if you can see this, but I'm applying a lot of force on this table, and it really goes nowhere. And as I lift up on the front, I just want you to see, you really want that thing to be pressing down on these front legs, because that's going to add to your stability. There's a couple reasons that I think it was really important to do this. Number one, just not to be aggravated as it starts to break loose over time. 2, as you're working with a knife on the table, the fact that your machine is not moving in its orientation definitely helps you be more precise. Remember that the Edgepro is a system that takes some hand skill, and the more variables you can eliminate from the sharpening process, the better off you are. So to have the table of this unit not moving around at all is a big deal, I think. The other thing is, when you're starting to set your original angle, if your suction cups are not in a consistent location, meaning if I press it down and it's gradually starting to lift up off the table, I may check the angle of my table, hit my 0, and then if that suction cup starts to lift while I'm measuring the angle of my stone and my knife blade, I'm going to have an error. If I am locked in firm to my table, that angle is never going to change. So that relationship is going to stay the same, and my angle measurements are going to be far more accurate. This little $2 fix and half an hour of my time is probably going to extend the time that I use the Apex model of the Edgepro before I buy a professional. The professional has a large square suction device like glass guys use to change windshields, and it probably works very, very well, but I can't imagine it works better than this. There are other aspects of the professional that are better than the Apex, but I've taken the suction problem out of my equation. So far so good. I've probably sharpened about 20 knives with this setup, and I've got no issues. Word of advice though, if you sharpen on your kitchen countertop and your wife also uses that counter, don't drill 2 holes in it. Don't do that. That is all for this one, my friends. Grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. And remember, the word is sharp.